What's up? So ladies and gentlemen, it sounds crazy to say, but we are truly coming up to the end of 2019. And with that, I think it is time for a little bit of reflection. And so with that, what I want to actually do is look back on the past year of Fortnite. While 2019 has been a year of ups and downs for both Epic Games and Fortnite, overall, I really do think it has had some shining moments, and I want to look back with just happiness and some positivity on those times. Because yeah, I know there's been some lows, but there's also been some really great moments this year. And yeah, we're gonna look at the top 10 best moments of Fortnite 2019. And yeah, let's get into it. All right, so coming in at our number 10 spot, I thought we'd start with something a little bit light, but something that I have some really fond memories of, and this is the Season 9 Days of Summer event. So there were 14 days of summer in all, and this was a time for Fortnite where really the game just threw a ton of content at us. Overall, Season 9 was already a really good and polished season in my opinion, and basically this just made it even better. Every single day, without failure, we were given one gun from the vault to use and play around with and really just like remember. To me, honestly, on its own, that would have been enough. I was just having so much fun getting to use all these old different guns that I had kind of forgot about, hadn't seen in a while, and that was just incredible again on its own. But they then even went a step further and had a different LTM for every single day of those 14 days. And this was complete with challenges that you could work towards to get some free cosmetics. And overall, man, it was just an incredible time. It was really one of those times in the last year where to me, Fortnite just felt so fresh. Every single day I could hop on, there was something new in the game to play with. But overall, I just have some really fond memories of the 14 days of summer, and I wanted to give it some love. I know it wasn't a full event or anything, but to me, it was very cool. Now, moving on to our number 9 spot, this is the first event on our list, and this was the Unvaulting. Now, personally, this was not my favorite event or even really close of anything that we saw in 2019, but I do still think it deserves some love. The coolest thing about this event was that we actually got to go down into the vault, and this was where we first met with hints of Calamity. Now, it wasn't the first time we actually saw her, but to me, this was where the Fortnite storyline actually started getting good and really just interesting. Things were starting to get tied together, and it really made me interested in the storyline, and I think that that was really the biggest and most exciting thing about this, obviously along with, you know, I guess the drum gun coming back. Ironic because having the drum gun come back ultimately destroyed the drum gun because it got nerfed, and then no one thinks of it as like that great anymore, but that was also pretty cool, I guess. And I mean, it certainly wasn't all great, you know. For example, Tilted Towers got destroyed and we got replaced with Neo Tilted, which a lot of people didn't like as much. But overall, I do think that this was a very cool event, and it's our number 9 spot. Moving on to number 8, I want to talk about the Batman crossover. And I want to look at this not so much in the perspective of just new content and what it brought to the game, but more so just what it meant for the game and its player base. This got introduced at a very weird time in Fortnite. Season 10 was very miss, in my opinion, as compared to hit. That's a weird way to say it, hit or miss. But anyways, I just feel like this was what we needed at that time. I was really not having a lot of fun with Season 10, and then this Batman event kind of came out of nowhere and really spiced the game up. Not only did it bring in a new POI to explore, we also had some new skins, and last but not least, that Batman grappler gun, which was just so fun to use. Like, the batarangs were kind of annoying because they were OP, but I just feel like really the grappler gun wasn't hurting anybody, and overall was just good. It was a breath of fresh air in what was otherwise a season of smog, and for that reason, I do really like this one. And in a very similar stroke, I figured we'd talk about these back to back. We actually have the Fortnite x Avengers crossover. Now, as I talked about it in another video, I feel like the Batman event was a little bit more innovative than this event, but overall, the Fortnite Endgame crossover event, whatever you want to call it, was really well done. From the perspective of the player base, this was so cool because there was so much hype from the original Thanos game mode that, I mean, really, that was like maybe debatably the peak of Fortnite, and to have this come back a year later really just brought back a lot of nostalgia for players. But not only could we play as Thanos in the tutorial, we also had Captain America's shield and Iron Man's blasters and Thor's hammer and Hawkeye's bow, and it was just a really, really cool time. It was one of those moments as far as an LTM goes that I think the community really just came and rallied around in a time that was otherwise kind of boring. It was like season 8, kind of nothing really going on, and it was just, it was a great time. once this thing got added. Okay, so moving on to number 6, this is something that was a little bit more personal, but I did want to add it into this list, and it's actually like the entirety of season 7. So season 7, the winter season, didn't entirely take place in 2019, but let's just assume I'm talking about the part that did. Season 7 was just, I don't know what it is, but to me, season 7 was just a very good time. I feel like after season 7, there was a very big change in just the way people viewed Fortnite and just the overall perception of the game. I don't know if it was the mechanics of the game changing so much, but season 7 to me just felt like a time where we were still really enjoying the game. Like during season 7, we probably looked at season 2 and 3 like, oh, that was it, you know? And now looking back on season 7, that's how I feel. Despite season 7 having so many issues like planes and the sword, which was a 2018 thing, and like the ice storm, you know, I still really look back on it fondly. I just have some really good memories of playing with friends in that season, and overall, it's honestly just something that I miss a lot. Now, moving on to our number 5 spot, this list wouldn't be complete without it. We've got the Marshmallow Concert. So not something that I was actually there for. The Marshmallow event is just something I know that so many players talk about with a hugely high regard. The Marshmallow Concert was something that didn't need to happen. It was just kind of out of left field and not related to a season at all, and just kind of smack dab in the middle of February absolutely shook the player base. It's weird, and I wish I could explain why people like it so much, because I always see people comment on, you see you guys commenting on my videos like, man, I just gotta tell you, the Marshmallow event, I don't even know why, was my favorite event in this last year. And it's just like, yeah, you know, seems like a popular opinion. I wish I was there to throw in my own opinions and my own perspective, but overall, I just know it's an event that the community really enjoyed. It was something where everyone came together, not for a new season or anything like that, but kind of just because. And I don't know, to me, that's really cool. Like just going to a concert in a video game with millions of people all over the world. That's never been done before, and is really freaking cool. Anyways, moving on to our number 4 spot, though, we've got another event, and this one certainly is related to a season, and it's actually season 9, the final showdown. So the robot versus monster event, the final showdown, was really one of the biggest storyline things we've ever been given. So much happened, so much changed, and it is just so responsible storyline wise for where we are at today. So, I mean, you know, if you're upset about the lack of content lately, you can thank that orb. In all seriousness, though, not only was this event hugely important for storyline, I mean, let's just talk about the fact that it was a giant monster robot fight. That's just really cool. You gotta give some respect for that event. I remember actually where I was watching that. I was in a restaurant watching Ali A with the Z House, Noah J, and JC Backfire, and we're just like, dude, what? Like none of them hardly even played Fortnite anymore, and they were all like, okay, respect, this is pretty cool. But yeah, to me, not only was it just a very cool event, but it was also like a huge marker for storyline, and that was something that I got really into then, so I've got some fun memories of it. Now moving on to number 3, and away from the in-game, this is actually a real-life event that happened, and it is the World Cup. I think we can all agree that the World Cup was a really cool time for Fortnite. Leading up to it, there was just so much hype and so much speculation as to, you know, who's gonna make it to the World Cup and obviously who is actually going to win it. Not to mention, for us casual players, let's also note the fact that it was the most balanced time Fortnite had ever been. I don't know about you guys, but apart from the combat shotgun, I absolutely loved the overall meta in Season 9, and I thought it was just a really polished version of their game. But regardless, the World Cup was huge. I was kind of sad I didn't get to actually go to it in New York, because I know a lot of YouTubers who did, but it was just this cool time where everyone came together, whether you were there in real life or online, and you basically just saw the greatest Fortnite players all compete head to head for what was like $3 million. You know, like seeing Booga just getting slowly further and further ahead and ultimately getting to that point where he basically had it like, you know, consolidated, and he was going to win. Seeing that smile on his face and then seeing that final game where he wins, and it was just, it was huge. The World Cup was definitely one of the biggest events over the summer, and to me, I think one of the best of all of 2019. Now, moving on to our number 2 spot, we've got an event that new viewers of the channel probably found me because of. This is the rocket launch event. So I've got a little bit of personal skin in the game on this one, but overall, the rocket event for Season 10, the final event there, was groundbreaking. As far as storyline goes, it kind of confirmed what we had already been thinking, and just as an event was really, really mesmerizing. Just seeing these rockets going around the meteor over and over, and then the world just going into a void black hole was wow. And then we were given a black hole, which I streamed to the world for 11 hours straight. Oh my God. 77K viewers. Again, I've got a lot of personal love for this event because there was just so many people in there with me. I think we had like over 5 million unique people pop in there and like I think 80,000 new subscribers that day. It was the most monumental day in the history of like my 12 years as a YouTuber. So I've got a lot of love for that black hole. And it was just cool, you know, no one was playing Fortnite, but everyone was interested in what was going on with Fortnite, and we just all kind of came together and chilled and watched to see what was happening. But with that said, if I'm being honest, I do have a personal favorite moment of 2019, and it's actually the launch of Chapter 2. The first week of Chapter 2 Fortnite was like the most fun I think I've had really since like the old days of season 2 and even 1. The game gave me a feeling that I hadn't had since those original days of Fortnite, and I just was back to falling in love with this game. Now it's sad because it's something that certainly didn't last, and especially with the lack of content updates, I've been a little bit bored with the game recently, but man, that first week was just incredible. Maybe it didn't lead to anything great, but it was just so much fun. I had so many friends who came back to the game and we were all playing over and again, and really it just felt like there was a lot of people back, you know, getting lots of wins, and man, it was a great time. So that number one spot's probably not everyone's shared opinion, but personally I had to put it at number 1 because I really have some strong memories of the start of Chapter 2. But ladies and gentlemen, with that said, that is our video for today. We are in the end game for 2019 now, and I just wanted to give you a heads up that I'm going to be pumping out a ton of content over the next 3 weeks. We're gonna finish 2019 strong and do a ton of content looking back over the last year. So we're also gonna do like a top 10 worst of 2019 and a whole bunch of other things. So it's gonna be a great time. All sorts of videos planned your way, so if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a like. I will talk to you guys later. Peace out, you freaking nerds. Oh, I love it. It's snowing out. It just feels so cozy. It's great.